There becomes a point in every artist's journey where they feel like giving up, throwing in the towel, and waving the white flag of defeat.
I'm done. Cut the show. I'm done.
But don't worry, this happens to literally every artist at some point in time. The best way to actually cure burnout is to figure out which burnout you have. I see a lot of artists throughout the years kind of actually struggling with burnout and how to get out of it because they think that it's an all-encompassing thing. So when they go on YouTube and try to find some advice, they're finding advice for the wrong sort of burnout. And that's where everybody usually tends to go wrong. So actually figuring out which burnout you have is going to figure out which way we go about it and the best way to treat it. Therefore, getting out of it faster. I mean, you wouldn't treat a broken arm with stomach medicine now, would you? Now let's go over the different ways of burnout. Of course, this is your host Uegar, and let's get right into it. Quick disclaimer, this is coming from my personal experience and the experience of others that I've been around personally. So I don't have the exact names. This is just my interpretation of it. So I'm pretty sure you could find some YouTube video out there that will give you the exact name of what I'm talking about. But like I said, this is just my form of it. Back to the video. There's so many different ways that an artist can start to feel burned out, and honestly it's not just artists. It could be a job burnout, it could be a hobby burnout. Any sort of passion will usually follow up with some sort of burnout in the future, and it usually stems from these three forms of burnout. It is ego-driven burnout, it is lack of support and identity burnout, and what I like to call too hard too fast burnout.
Super mega Paul!
Starting off with the most common form of burnout, which is the ego-driven burnout. And this is the one I see commonly in most artists. And the reason why this one is more common and actually is harder to get over is because it comes from oneself. And usually this kind of boils down to time equivalates to skill. And people think that time equals skill. And that is simply not the case. A lot of artists think that, oh, just because I put a lot of time in this piece, it's going to equivalent to how much reception it gets or how good it does. Or on a broader scale, I put in so much time in art throughout the years, so therefore I should be at this skill level. And that is not the case. That is not true at all. And this sucks is because, for me, an example, I have done art since I was in middle school, and I was never consistent, but I can say that I have been doing art for 8 to 10 years, right? And there were periods of my life where I did it for 1 year and then stopped for 2 or 3. I was super inconsistent in high school and I graduated 2020, but I've only started taking art seriously now. But on a broader scale, I can say that I've done art for a lot longer. And even with me doing art for 5 years, I've seen people start and get better than me in that time, just in a 4 to 5 year period. And so when people see that, they tend to get discouraged. Also, just when people come up to you and ask you how long you've been doing this, and people kind of give you that reaction of, you should be a little better or something like that, that always hurts the soul. But the thing is that everybody's journey is different. It is different. There will be people that just naturally get it better than you. And so the fact that the people think, artists tend to think that, oh, just because I put in this amount of time, therefore I should get this result. It's just not true. There's going to be people that are better than you in a shorter amount of time, and you're going to be better than people in a shorter amount of time compared to their journey. It is your journey. It's not anybody else's journey. It's your journey, and you have to focus on yourself and what you're doing. I mean, I know it sucks because a lot of artists put in a lot of time. They really do. There's a lot of sacrifice that comes with being an artist, whether that's, hey, I can't hang out with my friends because I have to finish this project, or hey, I can't watch this show or play this game because I got to finish this project, or whatever. I mean, you put in a lot of sacrifice and you do this all the time, and then it equivalates to nothing. But see, that's where it's wrong, is that you're looking at the outcome and you need to look at the journey of it. You have to be persistent in your own journey. And once you drown out everything else, once you stop thinking about, hey, this time equivalates to this, and you get that lie out of your head, you will do so much better. Because at the end of the day, I promise you, time does not equivalent to skill. It just doesn't, and that sucks. But that's just the way that it is. Once you just start to think about yourself on the day-to-day, hey, am I doing better today than I was yesterday? Or hey, am I making these small improvements here and there? Just take it at one step at a time and get rid of that ego. Another one is a lack of support and identity burnout. This one can be really, really discouraging, and I would say I've been affected by this as well. Now, a lot of people can view support in different ways. Some people have support from their parents, some people have support in your friends, some people have support online, and then there's people that kind of, it can all differentiate on the support. And when people and artists don't feel like they're getting the support they need, that can be very disheartening. My parents, I love them to death. My parents are great. They are very good people and they've done good by me. But when it comes to my art, they are verbally encouraging. Like, oh yeah, I believe in you. Oh yeah, pursue your dream. But when it comes to actually supporting me, like looking at my work or, viewing my things, they kind of seem very disinterested. And I remember when I wrote the one-shots that I made and with Levin, and we worked on these for months on end, and my parents like didn't even look at it, and I like sent it to them and stuff like that. And things like that can be discouraging. Or maybe your friends, you want to show your friends and you're not in a very good state in your art journey, like you're just learning and they clown on you, I mean, just as a joke, or something, or like, oh bro, you'll get better, whatever. Or vice versa, let's say you work so hard and you post something online and it just doesn't do good, and that's just the nature of it. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of these people don't have any malice. You can't take it personal, because at the end of the day, I mean, as true of a fact that it is that nobody's going to care other than you for the most part. And that's true. Like, nobody cares as much about your art as you do. You care about your art a lot because it's you. It takes a point in your art career where you start getting traction, you start getting better and better and better to the point where people really start to care. And I mean, and that goes with anything. I mean, if you take an example, like let's say someone's trying to become an artist, it's only really cool until someone's famous. Or same thing with a SoundCloud rapper. You look at SoundCloud rappers and you could be like, that's just another SoundCloud rapper, until he's famous. Then people start to care. And you just have to realize that at that point in your journey, there's going to be a time period where you just don't get a lot of grace, and you're going to be in the dark. And that's just a part of the journey. There is going to be a season in everybody's art journey where people are just not going to care, and it's going to be you and yourself. And that's fine. It happens to everybody. And like I said, a lot of these people are, I'm not even saying they're being malice. My parents love me to death, and they support me and they want me to do good in art. But at the end of the day, it's not that they necessarily are going to go out of their way to view sometimes. And for some people's parents, they don't support them at all. They don't even want them to do art. Some friends may be like, oh, okay, you're going to do this art thing. And then once you actually start putting in the work and start doing it, then they'll be like, oh, this guy's being serious. We'll support you. Or online, it's like you're not doing as good as right now, but give it a couple years and you start doing better, you're going to get some traction. You're going to get people viewing it and be like, man, that's really good. And having that perspective of being like, right now I'm just in this season where I'm just grinding and I'm just doing what I need to do in order to get better, and not caring necessarily about the support right now, even though it's tough, and just moving forward through that. I mean, at that point, you're going to become invincible almost. If you can get over that hurdle of being alone in this period, I mean, you'll be golden. And honestly, you probably don't even have to be alone. What helped me a lot is joining Discord servers and joining artist groups. I joined the Third PHP group, and honestly, Third PHP is never on there, but I'm in there constantly all the time because a lot of my friends I've gained through that community, which is so funny because I forget that it's even a Third PHP server just because I'm in there with people that are in there daily that have nothing to do with Third PHP. We're just all artists that just love doing art, and we talk and grow with one another, and it makes it feel where you're not as alone. And other small artists want to help small artists, and even big artists. I mean, big artists are willing to help too if you reach out to them. At least in my experience, I've gotten feedback, and I'm just saying that like you need to learn to just kind of keep going through this season and just try to reach out to people to get help and things like that, and that will really, really help you out. Now this one is going too hard too fast, and what I mean by that is that some people can get in over their head. They just get these random passions and they're not prepared. I guess they didn't do the proper things and they didn't think about what it actually takes in order to do this, and so they rise really high and then they just fall very low. For an example, for me, in my experience, me and Levin wanted to do a series, but we've never done a series. We've never even worked on manga pages at this point, but I was writing it and I wanted some help with the character art, so he agreed to do the characters. I'm doing the backgrounds and I'm writing it. I don't need to start on a One Piece level series, and everybody wants to do that. Like, there's so many artists that I've talked to, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna create the next One Piece. I want this to be like 20 volumes long.
Are you serious right now, bro?
And you're like, okay, like, have you started on it? No, because I keep doing this and I'm building this over here. It's like they took this big leap without any knowledge of anything and not taking the account of like what needs to be done. And so when I was talking to Levin, I was like, how about we just create a couple one shots? How about we create a mini series or something like that? And then, you know, start off low so we know we're committed. And then once we're committed, then we can go into these bigger things because we've gained experience. We kind of know what we're doing. And we've did 2 one shots, and both of them are around like the 50-page mark, Titus and Psychic Psycho. And then we're working on a mini series right now that we're planning to be like 20 chapters long and stuff like that. And then we want to get into our bigger series. Now, if you're like in the industry and you do a one shot, you win awards, and you're in it, well, now you're forced to do it. But I'm just saying, on the day-to-day artists making manga, I feel like they just have these super grandiose ideas without really grasping the reality. And when those things don't come and it becomes super overwhelming because you did not prepare, you get burned out really easily. You start quitting projects really easily because it's a big commitment that you didn't know that you were going to get into. And I see that all of the time. And the best way to do that is to start off small. Build up your things. I'm not saying to not do it. I'm just saying to do it at a pace. Get into it. Slowly build into it. Learn and take in and soak in everything that you could possibly soak in, so when the time comes for you to actually do it. That's how you kind of solve that problem. Hopefully this video helped going through all the different forms of burnout. Now there are more, and these things can become more personal to you, but these are just the ones that I've seen the most, and I wanted to talk about this because I've actually been feeling a little burnout, and I needed a reminder of, okay, how do I go about these processes? And now that I'm kind of getting over it, I wanted to go in it with y'all because I've just been going so hard in the paint recently, doing so many things at once, and while also moving and life things. So now that I'm kind of getting back into it, I wanted to share my advice on how I got out of it really quickly, and hopefully this will help. And hopefully, you know, with all these examples, you can actually pinpoint which form of burnout that you are, so you can properly kind of get over it and give yourself the ability to have some time to go through it, essentially. That'll be the end of this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I don't respond to all, but I respond to many. Hopefully you guys have had a good week. Stay creative. Hopefully you don't get burned out. Peace.